The more knowledge or intel you have, the more power you have. Intel and knowledge is gathered from the fact finding and the qualifying stage in the sales process. So the most important step is the close. Of course, if the close doesn't happen, nothing else matters. Qualifying is the second most important step because that's where you get all the intelligence. That's where you get all the information that you can actually use to identify what is this buyer's problem? What are they looking to solve? Why are they here? How can I use that to help them by closing this deal, to get my product or service in their hands? So with that, you want to spend adequate time or more than adequate time gathering information. Knowing is the second most important step. Knowing it's important. And something that ties in with that is you can't be afraid to ask questions, and especially the hard questions. Even to this day, it doesn't matter how high level you are. In certain scenarios, depending on what the situation is, you may struggle with asking the real hard questions. You may be asking one of the hard questions, but are you asking the real hard question? The one you're both thinking, but you don't really want to address? You know what I mean? There's ways you can fool yourself and you can dodge, right? You can ask a hard question, but are you asking the real hard question? So it's extremely important there. And you really, only the high level sales professionals and closers ask the hard questions. Now with that, asking the hard questions is it builds real relationships and it earns you your buyer's respect. So building relationships is building rapport, and earning their respect is a critical part of doing business with somebody. So if you have these two R's, if you have rapport and you have respect from your buyer, chances are you'll close the deal. How do you get and build rapport at the same time and move your process down to a close? You ask the hard questions that need to be asked for that deal to get done. I'll give you guys a quick alternative here. Now, this is, if you're dealing with organizations, businesses, multiple parties. I've been in boardrooms where there's like a VP of sales, there's a president of sales, and then there's a couple like sales managers or managers, whatever it might be. Or there's just some dude, like we've worked with certain clients that are high level, like multi-billion-dollar companies. I've gone into their, building, for example, and I have a meeting with the VP or the director, and I'm walking in and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and there's some random guy who's an IT guy, for example, just hanging out there doing his work on his laptop, whatever, right? The example here is this. A lot of times you can use influencers or other parties to ask the hard questions. So if I'm in this building and I see the IT guy hanging out there, I know he doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't have anything to do with him. He probably doesn't even know who I am. I don't really know who he is. I may just start a conversation with him. Hey, how's it going over there? Long day today, whatever. Just start a conversation, right? Just natural conversation and connect with this person. And as we're talking, I might say, yeah, how long have you been here? I've been here for a couple of years. Awesome. How do you like it? Yeah, it's good. Nice. Awesome. And what's your role? IT? Okay, got it. And how are the departments structured here? Is it IT department its own thing? How do you guys really structure your departments here? How does it operate? And do you all respond to the director or to the VP? Now I'm having this conversation. I'm building rapport with this guy and I'm asking him all these questions. If I walk into the meeting with the VP or the director or the president of that company, I'm probably not going to ask outright, how do you structure your departments? Who responds to who? Probably not going to ask that. Is it way easier to ask the random IT guy that I'm just talking to? Of course. So a lot of times you can use other parties, and you can do this on a personal level as well. In B2C sales, business to customer, business to consumer sales, when you're talking to customers, you're talking to individuals, you're talking to homeowners, you're talking to individual buyers, right? In those scenarios too. With door-to-door sales as an example, a funny way to do this and ask the hard questions is you knock a door, you get into the home, you do your pitch and everything's going well. You get into the house, you're about to do a presentation for the homeowner. The father and mother, the parents are the decision makers, right? Now they're settling in. They ask you to sit down on the couch, they go do something or whatever. And the kid's there. There's a 10-year-old kid just sitting there, right? You may just, if you're selling telecom services, for example, you can say, for example, hey buddy, you on your laptop over there or on your iPad or gaming? What game is that? Okay, cool. Got it. Yeah. Is it usually fast? Does your game lag? Does your internet like cut out here and there? Or is it usually good? Yeah, it cuts out all the time. Okay, got it. Did that happen recently? Has it happened today yet? Yeah, it actually just cut out. I try to play games with my friends online and, that sucks. Hopefully we can get your dad to upgrade your internet. That's what I'm here for. Maybe I can get you on my side. What am I doing? I'm doing multiple things here. A bunch of these strategies we've talked about, right? I'm not even kidding. I've done this freaking hundreds of times with kids, with the partner. The husband's very hard to get a deal done with. He goes somewhere. The wife is sitting there and the wife kind of shrugs at me like, I don't know, I can't deal with them either. Like I've had that so many times when I'm in homes dealing with families, right? And now I'm in this scenario where I'm like, well, listen, like maybe you can help me. Like, can you give me some insider information? What is he like? What bothers him? Is it the internet? Is it the TV? Is he looking for a specific channel? Like, can you give me any information? She'll be like, yeah, he really likes HBO, but it's really expensive with our current provider. Okay, got it. Okay. Guy comes back. Well, listen, I want to show you some of the additional things we have here. The one thing we're doing right now as a promo is HBO is free for the first 3 months. Can you believe that? Deal closed, done, right? I've literally done that hundreds of times in so many different scenarios with so many different people. And like I've been, in backyard parties trying to sell a service and, had whole parties there. And I'm talking to the friends, the buddies who were just there for a party. I have nothing to do with the homeowner. Talking to them, like, how long have you been friends with this guy? Okay, awesome. What does he like? What does he do? Does he work online? Does he work from home? Trying to gather information, trying to gather intel. The second most important step is qualifying. The more information and intel you have, the more you have leverage, the more you have power, the more you can close deals, the more you can relate to people, the more you can build relationships, build rapport. So these are all different examples, right? So when you want to ask the hard questions and when you want to do, you want to move the deal forward, a lot of times you got to use whatever you have at your disposal. And it could be other people. And a lot of times it's hard to directly approach the person, or the decision maker may just be completely closed off. They've dealt with a lot of salespeople. Maybe they've been in a lot of negotiations if this is more like business to business, and they're closed off. So there's no way in. You can't force your way in. This is what a lot of salespeople try to do. They try to break down the doors and close with power. That's not how it works.